The 1950s was a decade that's often seen as a time of conformity, conservatism, and domesticity. But was it really that simple? How did girls learn about their roles and expectations in society? What were the challenges and opportunities they faced, and how did they express their individuality and creativity? The 1950s was a period of rapid economic growth, social stability, and political consensus in the United States. After the hardships of the Great Depression and World War II, many Americans sought to build a peaceful and prosperous society based on the ideals of democracy, capitalism, and freedom. The Cold War with the Soviet Union also influenced the culture and values of the nation, as Americans felt the need to defend their way of life against the threat of communism. One of the main aspects of this way of life was the nuclear family, consisting of a married couple and their children living in a suburban home. The family was seen as the basic unit of society and the source of happiness and fulfillment for both men and women. The mass media and popular culture reinforced this image, portraying idealized versions of family life in magazines, movies, television shows, and advertisements. For women, especially white women, this meant that their primary role was to be wives and mothers and to devote themselves to their husbands and children. They were expected to create a comfortable and attractive home, cook delicious meals, keep themselves and their families well-groomed and dressed, and support their husbands' careers and interests. They were also encouraged to be feminine, graceful, cheerful, and loyal. Many women embraced this role willingly and happily, finding satisfaction and meaning in their domestic duties. They enjoyed the benefits of consumerism, such as new appliances, cars, clothes, and cosmetics. They also took pride in their appearance, following the latest fashion trends and beauty standards. They wore dresses with full skirts or slim-fitting pencil skirts, blouses with Peter Pan collars or cardigan sweaters, kitten heels or saddle shoes, hats or headscarves, gloves or pearls. They styled their hair in soft curls or waves, often using rollers or curlers. However, not all women fit into this idealized image of femininity and domesticity. Some women worked outside the home, either by choice or by necessity. Some women pursued higher education or professional careers. Some women remained single or divorced. Some challenged the norms of sexuality or gender expression, and some women belonged to racial or ethnic minorities that faced discrimination and oppression. These women often faced social pressure, criticism, or ridicule for deviating from the expected path. They also had to deal with legal barriers, wage gaps, glass ceilings, sexual harassment, and violence. They had to balance their personal ambitions with their family responsibilities. They had to find ways to cope with their frustrations or dissatisfaction. Some of these women also found sources of support, inspiration, or empowerment. They joined social movements or organizations that advocated for their rights or interests. They formed networks or communities with other like-minded women. They read books or magazines that offered alternative perspectives or advice. They expressed themselves through art, music, or literature. One of the most influential books for women in the 1950s was The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan, published in 1963. Friedan identified a problem that she called the problem that has no name, which was the feeling of emptiness or unhappiness that many suburban housewives experienced. She argued that women have been brainwashed by society into believing that their only role was to be wives and mothers, and that they needed more opportunities for personal growth and fulfillment outside the home. The Feminine Mystique sparked a wave of feminist activism that would continue in the 1960s and 70s, challenging the traditional gender roles and stereotypes of the 1950s. It also sparked many women to question their own lives and choices and to seek new possibilities for themselves. So as you can see, girls were raised to be women in different ways in the 1950s, depending on their circumstances, backgrounds, personalities, and aspirations. Some followed the conventional path, some rebelled against it, and some found a middle ground. Some were happy, some were unhappy, and some were both. Some changed the world, some changed themselves, and some changed nothing. But they all contributed to the rich and complex history of women's lives in this era. Thank you all for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a comment down below and let us know what you think about this topic. See you next time, and bye for now.